Govinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we continue to read from Sri Isopanishad, Mantra 3. Welcome back, everyone. Okay. Asurya Nama Te Lokaha.
Asurya Nama Te Loka.
Andena Tamasavrita.
Andena Tamasvrita.
Tamste Pretya Vigachanti.
Tamste Pretya Vigachanti.
Yeke Chatmahano Jana.
Yeke Chatmahano Jana.
Would someone like to read?
If somebody wants to read, I can read, not a problem.
Okay, you can read, Sonia.
Yeah, no, but I was thinking maybe somebody is there willing to read, so.
Okay.
Hope not. Okay. Okay, translation. The killer of the soul, whoever he may be, must enter into the planets known as the worlds of the faithless, full of darkness and ignorance. Purport. Human life is distinguished from animal life due to its heavy responsibilities. Those who are cognizant of these responsibilities and who work in that spirit are called suras, godly persons. And those who are neglectful of these responsibilities or who have no information of them are called asuras, demons. Throughout the universe, there are only these two types of human being. In the Rig Veda, it is stated that the suras always aim at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, Vishnu, and act accordingly. Their ways are as illuminated as the path of the sun. Should I keep on reading?
Yeah, please.
Okay, intelligent human beings must always remember that the soul obtains a human form after an evolution of many millions of years in the cycle of transmigration. The material world is sometimes compared to an ocean, and the human body is compared to a soiled boat designed especially to cross this ocean. The Vedic scriptures and the acharyas or saintly teachers are compared to expert boatmen, and the facilities of the human body are compared to favorable breezes that help the boat ply smoothly to its desired destination. If with all these facilities, a human being does not fully utilize his life for self-realization, he must be considered Atma, a killer of the soul. Shri Isopanishad warns in clear terms that the killer of the soul is destined to enter into darkest region of ignorance to suffer perpetually.
So we are hearing. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Shall we speak of it? So then,
sure.
Killer of the soul. We can see how scriptures sometimes they use harsh words. Why? Just to wake us up. It's not not to degrade us in any way or belittle us, but just to wake us up from sleep. When somebody's in deep sleep and they're not waking up, then you kind of like jerk them out. So like Bhagavatam says that also, that sometimes Bhagavatam uses just to wake us up from sleep. And what is this sleep? That we have forgotten that we are souls. We are not the body. So that's why it's called killer of the soul. We have the human form of life. In this human form of life, it is our responsibility to find out our true identity. And then if we are neglectful of this responsibility, we are called the killer of the soul. So, and this human body, it's not very easy to obtain this. Like, how many species of life are there? Anyone?
86,000.
8,400,000.
That's right. 8,400,000 species, you know. So
Very-
it's there are lots and lots of species. And human beings are only 400,000. 8 million are the other species. So it's very difficult to get this human life. And this human body is especially designed to cross this ocean. How we can say that it is designed to cross this ocean, this human body? Some few examples we can get?
With this human form, we can pray to God, we can chat, we can do all that the animals can't.
That's right. Yes, that's right. Thank you. Yes, with our tongue we can chant. With our ears we can hear. With our hands and legs we can do some service, go to the temple, worship the deity. Yeah. So, and we have the intelligence to understand the scriptures. We have the intelligence to understand, oh, I'm not the body, I'm spirit soul, I'm part and parcel of Krishna. So this is called the boat. The body is called the boat. And who are the boatmen?
The acharyas, the teacher who help us to
Yeah.
cross this thing.
Yeah. So why they call boatmen? Why?
Because they guide us.
That's right. They guide us. Just like a boatman, we sit in the boat. We don't know anything about rowing. We just sit and we know he'll take us from one shore to the other. Right? We know that. So similarly, we take shelter of the acharyas. We follow the instructions, and then they guide us from this material world to the spiritual world. So this is what, and so the Shastras are telling us that we have been given these facilities. We have the human body, the facilities are there for us to revive our relationship with Krishna. We have the scriptures, we have the teachers to teach the scriptures. So in spite of so much help being given to us by Krishna, if we don't take advantage, if we don't utilize this opportunity, then we are called killer of the soul. That's what Sri Isopanishad is saying there. And because we don't know that where is our next destination after we leave this body, we don't know which species are we going to go to. Is it going to be animal or tree or we don't know. Don't. So
what is this word Atma? Atma is like the Atma, soul.
Atma ha. So Atma is the soul, ha, killer. Killer of the soul. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. There are swine, dogs, camels, asses, etc., whose economic necessities are just as important to them as are to us. But the economic problems of these animals are solved only under nasty and unpleasant conditions. The human being is given all facilities for a comfortable life by the laws of nature, because the human form of life is more important and valuable than animal life. Why is man given a better life than that of the swine and other animals? Why is a highly placed government servant given better facilities than those of an ordinary clerk? The answer is that a highly placed officer has to discharge duties of a higher nature. Similarly, the duties human beings have to perform are higher than those of animals, who are always engaged in simply feeding their hungry stomachs. Yes, the modern soul-killing civilization has only increased the problems of the hungry stomach. When we approached a polished animal in the form of a modern civilized man and ask him to take interest in self-realization, he will say that he simply wants to work to satisfy his stomach and that there is no need of self-realization for a hungry man. The laws of the nature are so cruel, however, that despite his denunciation of the need for self-realization and his eagerness to work hard to fill his stomach, he is always threatened by unemployment.
So Prabhupada is helping us point out, there's something to consider, that why are we given more facilities? Human being, we are given more facilities, no, than animals. We can see, the poor animals when they're eating, also they're looking here and there, because there's constant danger. So even while eating, they are not able to, peacefully eat. So we are given more perks. So Prabhupada is explaining, just like a higher government officer, if there's a CEO, he's given more perks than somebody who's like just a junior ops in the ops department or something. Why? Because the CEO has more important functions. So similarly, our important function is to understand our relationship with Krishna. Each of us have a loving relationship with Krishna, a very sweet relationship with Krishna, and that we can revive in this human form of life. In animal life, we do not have the facility to do so, but in human life, we have this facility, this intelligence by which we can revive our relationship with God. So then Prabhupada is saying that someone may say, oh, I don't have time. But we forget in that once the time in this body is finished, then our opportunity to get out of this material world gets delayed by a long time. 8 million species is a long time. Some species live for thousands of years. There are trees who live for thousands and thousands of years. So we are encouraged at least to take up this process of devotional service in this human life, so that even if we cannot perfect it, our next life we can continue from where we stopped. We can again get a human body, and we can go on our journey back home, back to Godhead.
We are given this human form of life not to work hard like asses, swine, and dogs, but to attain the highest perfection of life. If we do not care for self-realization, the law of nature forces us to work very hard, even though we may not want to do so. Human beings in this age have been forced to work hard like the asses and bullocks that pull carts. Some of the regions where the asuras are sent to work are revealed in this mantra of Shri Isopanishad. If a man fails to discharge his duties as a human being, he is forced to transmigrate to the Asura planets and take birth in degraded species of life to work hard in ignorance and darkness.
So now I'm sorry, I'll just point out. Now one may say, oh, Isopanishad is saying don't work. But we have to understand what Isopanishad is saying. Don't work too hard, over endeavor. Work we have to perform. Whatever is our duty, we have to perform. Krishna himself says to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita that without work, we cannot even maintain the body. So there is a difference between working and over-endeavoring. So the scriptures are telling us, don't over-endeavor. Work as needs to be worked, work in a balanced way, how many hours need, but also set aside some time to engage in hearing and chanting. That is, so that balance, we need to find that somewhere, yeah.
In the Bhagavad Gita 6.41 to 43, it is stated that a man who, I can't see what's say there, a man who, 1 second. No, sorry, I can't see the word. 1 second.
Which one?
Sorry, it is stated that a man who
enters.
Okay, sorry. Upon the path of self-realization, but does not complete the process, despite having sincerely tried to realize his relationship with God, is given a chance to appear in family of Sukhi or Srimad. The word Sukhi indicates a spiritually advanced Brahmana, and Srimad indicates a Vaishya, a member of the mercantile community. So the person who fails to achieve self-realization is given a better chance in his next life due to his sincere efforts in this life. If even a fallen candidate is given a chance to take birth in a respectable and noble family, one can hardly imagine the status of one who has achieved success. By simply attempting to realize God, one is guaranteed birth in a wealthy or aristocratic family. But those who do not even make an attempt, who want to be covered by illusion, who are too materialistic and too attached to material enjoyment, must enter into the darkest regions of the hell, as confirmed throughout the Vedic literature. Such materialistic asuras sometimes make a show of religion, but their ultimate aim is material prosperity. The Bhagavad Gita 16.17 to 18 rebukes such men by calling them Atma Sambhavita, meaning that they are considered great only on the strength of deception and are empowered by the votes of the ignorant and by their own material wealth. Such asuras, devoid of self-realization and knowledge of Ishavasya, the Lord's universal proprietorship, and certain to enter into darkest regions.
So Krishna says to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is asking, oh, somebody takes up this devotional process, like somebody's going to give up, because time is limited. So for a certain time, that person is going to not do material activity, but he's going to engage in devotional service. So, and Arjuna says, suppose he cannot get perfection. He's not able to get liberated in this life. Then what's going to happen? It will be like all his efforts are wasted. And this is what Arjuna is thinking. Because in the material world, we can see, till the time we don't finish something, it's like a waste. It becomes a waste. So, but Krishna tells him, no, the efforts are not wasted. Even a little beginning in this life, it assures us, it saves us from the greatest type of danger. And what is the greatest type of danger? That the next body we could get is of an animal or going to the hellish planets. And then Krishna says that once one who has begun this devotional service, depend on how much one has progressed in the next life, one is given facility to further increase the devotional service. One gets born in a very rich family, rich mercantile family, so there's facility to engage in devotional service. Or if one was really, engaging in devotional service for a very long time, but somehow didn't get perfection in the next life, they are born in the family of devotees, great transcendentalists. So Krishna assures us that even if we begin devotional service, nothing is lost. It's eternal. Our material activities, endeavors is temporary. The result is temporary. We can enjoy it for a certain time only. But when we take up spiritual life, devotional service, it is eternal. As the soul is eternal, devotional service is eternal. Yeah.
The conclusion is that as human beings, we are meant not simply for solving economic problems on a tottering platform, but for solving all the problems of the material life into which we have been placed by the laws of nature.
So one may argue that, oh, but well, we have, solved so many problems. Problem of transportation, for example, before there was no cars, there was no metro, or there were no planes, and so it would take days and days to travel. Traveling was so difficult. Many wouldn't even dream of traveling in their lifetime. But now with this modern advancement, travel has become so easy. It's true. It's true. So this problem does get solved. But then what we add is maybe pollution, noise, or air, or whatever the case may be. But Still, we don't solve the problem of birth, death, old age, and disease by this advancement. Doesn't mean we shouldn't advance. Doesn't mean that we have to go backward. No, no. What Isopanishad is trying to explain to us is try to understand that how to make a permanent solution to the problems and what are the problems actually. What are the problems of human life? Anyone?
Like to sustain yourself economically.
Birth, old age, disease, death.
That's right. Those are the real problems of human life: birth, death, old age, and disease. Other problems come and go. We find some temporary solution, but we need to find solution to this: birth, death, old age, and disease. Now, one may say, why do we find a solution to birth? We celebrate birthday every year. We are waiting to celebrate. We sometimes have more than one function to celebrate birthday. But birth is also a suffering. We forget it. That how we are in the womb of the mother for so many months, how we are packed up in that situation, how we are pushed out from such a narrow space. It's a life-threatening situation, but we forget. But of course, disease, most of us have experienced disease in some form of the other. It's painful. Old age is painful, and death is very painful. So this is the problems we need to solve. Like, we need to ask ourselves, hey, why do I have to become old? Why do I have to get disease? Why do I have to die? Those are the problems. And then Bhagavad Gita gives us the answer that we are not the body, we are the soul. And we can make a permanent solution to these problems by engaging in devotional service, hearing from Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Did anyone want to add anything? Any comments, any questions?
No, all good.
Okay, so then we could go on to the next mantra. 4. Anejad ekam manaso javiyo.
Anehad ekam manaso javyo.
Nena deva apnuvan purvam arshad.
Nena deva apnuvan purvan arshad.
Tadhavato nyan atyeti tishthan.
Tadhavato nyan atyeti tishthat.
Tasmin apo matar rishva dadhati.
Tasmin apo matarisva dadhati. Translation. Although fixed in his abode, the personality of Godhead is swifter than the mind and can overcome all other running. The powerful demigods cannot approach him. Although in one place he controls those who supply the air and rain, he surpasses all in excellence. Purport. Through mental speculation, even the greatest philosopher cannot know the Supreme God, who is the absolute personality of Godhead. He can be known only by his devotees through his mercy. In the Brahma Samhita 5.34, it is stated that even if a known devotee, philosopher, travels through space at the speed of the wind or the mind for hundreds of millions of years, he will still find that the absolute truth is far, far away from him. The Brahma Samhita 5.37 further describes that the absolute personality of Godhead has his transcendental abode, known as Golka, where he remains and engages in his pastimes. Yet by his inconceivable potencies, he can simultaneously reach every part of his creative energy. In the Vishnu Purana, his potencies are compared to the heat and light that emanate from a fire. Although situated in one place, a fire can distribute its light and heat for some distance. Similarly, the absolute personality of Godhead, although fixed in his transcendental abode, can diffuse his different energies everywhere.
So, trying to understand God by our mind. If we don't hear from the scriptures, we don't hear from the devotees, we won't be able to understand God. If we think, okay, only by my mind, by my imagination, I'm going to try to understand who's God, we can't, because our mind is material. We can solve material problems, we can, material things, but God is not material. He is transcendental. And Krishna says that he can be known only by devotion. Bhaktyamam abhijanate. By devotion, we can understand God. By hearing about him from Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, by chanting his holy name, we will be able to understand him. By only by speculating, oh, maybe this one is God, maybe that one is God, maybe I am God, or maybe he's God. Like that kind of speculation is never going to bring us to the point of actually knowing the truth. Like for example, we don't go to school. For example, we say, oh, I'm not going to go to school, but I'm just going to, by my own self, try to speculate that how the English language should be. And we make up our own alphabets and we make up our, so we are never going to become expert in it. We are not going to understand, oh, this is what the alphabets are, this is how we make words, this is how we make sentences. But when we go to school, we understand how to do. So similarly, for spiritual matters, we need to go to a spiritual teacher, hear Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita from them to be able to understand God, about the spiritual world, about his transcendental abode. Yeah. So as there are so many planets in this world, when we look out up in the sky at night, we can see so many different stars, so many planets. Similarly, in the spiritual sky, there are many planets. They are called Vaikuntha planets, the spiritual planets. And Krishna, he has his own planet in the Vaikuntha sky. It's the highest planet, and it's called Golok Vrindavan, where Krishna, he himself stays. In the other planets of Vaikuntha are Krishna's expansions. The Narayan expansions are there. But he himself, he stays at Golok Vrindavan. And what is he doing there? He is engaging in pastimes with the Brajbasis. So we may think, oh, but that happened 5,000 years ago. It's not only 5,000 years ago. These pastimes are eternal. They're continuously happening. They're happening in the spiritual world in Golok Vrindavan. And Krishna's pastimes are eternally going on, even in the material world. He's in some universe or the other, some planet or the other, performing his leelas. That's why they're called eternal. So Krishna, he is expanding himself as Narayan, yet he himself is there. He has these energies. The material world is his energy. The living entities, we are his energy, but yet he himself is a person. This is inconceivable potency of Krishna. Simultaneous, one and different. Simultaneous, one and different. So how we can understand that God, he is omnipotent. He has many, many energies. He himself is a person and he has many energies by which he is all-pervading. Just like, a CEO of a big company, he's there in his office or at his home, and all the work is going on in the company, all the departments, everyone is working in coordination as per his order. Yeah, so his energy. It's not that he has to become the other people, he has to become the computers. No, he's just set out the system and everyone's following his system. And he himself, he is in his office or in his home. Yeah.
Although his energies are innumerable, they can be divided into three principal categories: the internal potency, the marginal potency, and the external potency. There are hundreds and millions of subheadings to each of these categories. The dominating demigods, who are empowered to control and administer such natural phenomena as air, light, and rain, are all classified within the marginal potency of the absolute person. Lesser living beings, including humans, also belong to the Lord's marginal potency. The material world is the creation of the Lord's external potency, and the spiritual sky, where the kingdom of God is situated, is the manifestation of his internal potency.
So, what are the three principal categories we are hearing are Krishna's energies?
Internal potency, marginal potency, and external potency.
Yeah. So actually he has unlimited potency, but these are just broadly divided into these three categories for our easy understanding. So marginal potency. What is the marginal potency? Anyone knows? What's the marginal potency? Hmm?
The living entity.
Yes, that's right. Thank you. The living entity, we, the souls, the jivatmas, we are called marginal potency. Even the demigods are jivatmas, marginal potency. Demigods are not independent of Krishna. Demigods are not God. They are part and parcel of Krishna. They are also living entities like how we are. It's like they have occupied the post, like the president of a country is also a person. He's also a citizen of the country. But yes, he has the qualification to occupy that post. So similarly, the demigods are like that. Lord Brahma, Lord Indra, these are different posts. And one who is qualified gets appointed to that post. So this is the marginal potency. Why we are called marginal potency? Even we, the human beings, we are also called marginal potency. Now, why we are called marginal is because sometimes we are under the shelter of spiritual energy, sometimes under the shelter of material energy. You see, our size is very tiny, 1/10,000 the tip of the hair. And we always need to have shelter, either of material energy or spiritual energy. The choice is ours. Krishna does not interfere with the choice. So that's why we are called marginal, sometimes here, sometimes there. Tatashta, just like, the shore, the seashore. Sometimes it's in water, sometimes it's exposed. Like that. So we are the marginal potency, all the living entities, all the demigods, all of us are marginal potency. Then this material world is Krishna's external energy. It's called Bahiranga Shakti also. Bahiranga, separated. And the spiritual world is Krishna's internal potency, Antaranga Shakti. Spiritual is internal, the material world is his external energy, and we, the living entities, are his marginal energy. So we can see everything and anything and everything is Krishna's energy. We are also Krishna's energy. Now we may think, oh, we are Krishna's energy, so energy means some light or some power without any form. No, but we have a form. We are part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna is the supreme energetic. He has a form. And we also have a form, a spiritual form. The bodies that we have now, these are material forms, but there is a spiritual form. And each of us have our own spiritual forms. Okay. So we can continue reading.
The different energies of the Lord are present everywhere. Although the Lord and his energies are non-different, one should not mistake these energies for the supreme truth. Nor should one wrongly consider that the Supreme Lord is distributed everywhere impersonally or that he loses his personal existence. Men are accustomed to reaching conclusion according to their capacity for understanding. But the Supreme Lord is not subject to our limited capacity for understanding. It is for this reason that the Upanishads warn us that no one can approach the Lord by his own limited potency.
So we just said material energy, spiritual energy, and marginal energy. We are all energies of Krishna. So Krishna is the energetic, we are the energy. And why is being said non-different? Simultaneous, one and different. So the example the scriptures give us is like sun and sunshine. You know, the sunshine is the energy of the sun, right? So when in the morning the sunshine comes into our room, we say, oh, the sun is in the room. But it's not that the full sun planet is inside there. We would be finished if the full sun came. But okay, we are saying that it means the sunshine, right? So simultaneous, one and different, part and parcel. Like the sunshine, one molecule of sunshine also has heat and light. It has heat and light. Why? Because the sun has heat and light. But the quantity of heat and light in the total sun planet is very different than the heat and light of one molecule of sunshine. That is our position, us and Krishna. Same in quality, but different in quantity. Krishna is Satchidananda, we are Satchidananda. But Krishna is the supreme whole, and we are tiny, minute parts of him. Now, when we say part and parcel, or we say this material world is his energy, it doesn't mean that Krishna himself does not exist, that he has become everything and the person Krishna is not there. No. You know, someone may think, oh, you take a piece of paper and you cut the paper in many pieces, so the original paper is not there, only the pieces are there. So something like that has happened to God. But no, God is not a piece of paper. Piece of paper is just dead matter. You know, it's dull matter, it's not conscious. Whereas God, he's supremely conscious. He's unlimited. We cannot compare apple to orange. We have to compare apple to apple and orange to orange. So paper cannot be compared to God. So God, even though he has these energies and he has created the material world, spiritual world, we, the living entities, he himself is there as a person. Now, it doesn't mean that the father and the mother, they unite to get a child and the child is born and that the mother and father don't exist anymore. No, they exist. The child also exists. Child is a part of the mother and father. So Krishna exists eternally. Okay, so we have we want to understand Krishna, we hear about him from the scriptures. Because if we try to just mentally speculate without hearing from scriptures, we will not be able to understand him, absolute truths. Why? Because our minds are limited, our minds are material, and we cannot approach the spiritual, the unlimited, with our material mind. Any questions or comments?
No, all good.
All good?
Yeah.
We'll stop here for today. This month is the most auspicious Purushottam month is going on. It's a very auspicious time where we do even a little bit of devotional service and we get the results is multiplied thousands and thousands of times, you know, like how you get a super jackpot. It's like that. So even a little bit of hearing and chanting can give us amazing, amazing results in this month of Purushottam. So we encourage everyone to take up the chanting of Hare Krishna, to hear more from the scriptures, take advantage of this holy month that is going on. Yeah. Thank you so much. Shila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktavinda ki jai, Hare Krishna.